we go. All right, here we go.
Okay. Anyway, I got two pieces of actually Tenkara fly line. So I think you can see green and yellow.
Yep.
Yes.
And what you do is take the two pieces of line, and the one you want to leave about 6 or 8 inches overlap. You put it in between your bottom finger, and then you take the other piece, the long piece. You're going to have a short end and a long end. So I got about 6-8 inches on the one side. Then I'm going to have about 6 or 8 inches of fly line on the other. And I'm trying to get it. And all what you do is take your thumbs, twist the line, trying to twist it about 5 times or so. Take the opening, take the one short end, put one through the top. Take the other short end, come in from the bottom. Kind of cinch it up. Yep. All thumbs again. And then you have a nice little blood knot. And just clip your tag ends off, and you're ready to go. I thought it was a pretty interesting one, because I've stayed away from blood knots just because it took me a long time to tie one, and especially if your fingers are cold or whatever, I really had problems. So I just kind of tied a nail knot or a couple of nail knots together.
Well, that's an interesting way of doing it. It always helps to see
Yeah,
how the heck you manage, the tag ends and things,
but
to
yeah, with a little bit of
technique that
practice,
works.
with just a little bit of practice, you tie it in about 30 seconds or less. But I was trying to concentrate on keeping it in the on the video, but I'll just kind of run through it again real quick. My right side will be the short end. I got about 6 or 8 inches that the long end. So I got a short end and a long end.
Dave, can you move a little bit to your right? Kind of. There you go. Yep. I think that's going to be a better camera angle for everybody.
Okay, I'm going to push it back just a little bit. Then,
Perfect.
okay, now I have a short end on the left and a short end on the right. And you just twirl the lines around each other. Take the one short end. go through. And you can kind of cinch that a little tighter and take the other one, come in from the opposite direction. One goes in from the top, one goes in from the bottom. Pull them together. And you have a blood knot.
Wow.
It's very, makes a very, even with this fly line, it makes a very skinny, it goes through the guides a lot easier than any other knot I've tried. And you can use this to tie your leader onto your fly line or leader to tip it.
That's really a better way of doing it. I like that.
I was gonna say, wait, we might have to stop now and all practice that one, because that was probably, that was probably one of the easier ones I've seen a demonstration for.
It's a lot easier using a nylon line or fluorocarbon than it is to try and tie two pieces of. But I've used it actually at home, tie two pieces of rope together, and it makes a very strong knot.
I like that. I think that's one definitely will be coming back and going, hey, Dave, how was that again?
Yeah,
show
for sure.
us one more time. Because that was a great and so easy to do if you just slow down for a minute.
Right.
I think that's the other thing too, is just slowing down and trying to get it all. But yeah, I've got stuff out and I'm like, ooh, I like that. So thank you. That's great.
Just sitting in front of the television with the only light on being the television, I was practicing that, and I could do it with very little light.
Perfect. Now we'll just have to dip your hands in ice water and then see how it works when you're, can't feel your fingertips.
Right. Okay.
That
That's all I
was
had.
great. All right.
I'll be jumping off in a little bit as soon as the jambalaya is done. We're going to have a family meal.
Nice.
Outstanding. Well, thanks
What's
very
your
much,
address?
Dave. He didn't save any for us, and he didn't even send us his address. But I can get it for you, Terry. I have my sources. All right. So anyway, anybody else want to go next? Who's going to jump in?
I
Everybody all
had
at
two
once?
things. The first one is very simple. Most of us probably carry something, but just some of these little aluminum pill cases. And I just got through tonight taking it in there. I made up, carry a list of my emergency info, names, blood types, things like that, insurance cards. And the thing I try and remember when I go someplace, particularly if we're camping, is just to take another piece of paper and write out where the heck we're camping, camping site and stuff like that, and put it in there too, because you might have, doesn't do any good calling back home if there's no one there, and it's 800 miles away when, your wife or whoever is, just 3 miles that way, and, takes a long time. And then I had one other thing. I was real fortunate to come up with some fingerless gloves. And just for info for people, when you're looking at getting these things, they're both Sims. One is kind of their synthetic one. The thing I found, I've worn them both in the past couple days. If anybody's looking at them, the synthetic one, you can see covers to just below your middle knuckle. And it's been pretty good in blocking the wind and staying fairly warm. And it has like a little bit of a fleece on the inside. But the thing I've noticed when I tried on the wool ones, you see it comes up above the knuckle, so it covers a little bit more of the hand. And though it's hard to tell in these 2 days weren't that cold, they both feel just about as warm, and the wool almost, I want to say, might be a little warmer, but I haven't had it in really windy conditions yet. But the simple fact in terms of how much of your finger it covers, and that they both actually have about the same amount of warmth and come way up on the wrist, good. If you're considering or looking at buying them, it's just a little minor difference between the two, particularly for staying warm. Having more of that finger covered can be a big deal. So the wool ones might be could turn out being the better one. More trial and error will kind of tell which one ends up being the favorite. But
Very cool.
Outstanding. Yep. So, it's interesting because Roger didn't have these kind of gloves a couple weeks ago. So he got to wear my girl gloves, which are sparkly even. But one of the things too, and I know, coming off the water and being very cold too, is switching out of things. Because as far as with your gloves, socks, even, because we don't think our socks are damp. But one of the things too with those gloves, wool is great. The flip over mittens don't, in my opinion, the flip over mittens don't work very well. They work great if you have a hot pocket in and you can just get your fingertips warm. But you'll catch on your fly line, and they catch on everything. So you're right in the middle of a cast, and guess what? You look down, your fly line is caught behind the flip over mitten. So if you guys don't know what those are, they just pull back over, and then you can flip them back, and there's a magnet on those two. But I love the fingerless gloves, and the biggest thing is just the wash and wear on them. You need to be able to throw them in, zip them up. If you have the ones that have the zipper on the side, zip those up, because I have lost the zipper part of washing my gloves. And but they're a great investment. And the wool, it'll be interesting to see what you say after the whole winter's done. We're gonna wait for Roger's poll on which ones are his favorites.
and they're both the same price, really. So,
Yep. And it's kind of a neoprene. One of them is kind of a neoprene, and then but they are warm. They're great
they're
investment for
not
this area.
rubbery. It's more of almost a nylon fabric, but it does have the inside is definitely a fleece feel to it. And these, I caught the hook or whatever in it just a little bit, but not bad. You have enough finger left to be able to still work your hook and stuff without everything getting caught up, it seems.
Be interesting to see which ones you like with tying knots. Because I found the ones at the second knuckle, like the black ones that you held up, I like them back a little bit more to work with, but it'll be interesting to see which ones, because the wools dry faster too, though. You just shake those and those are dry.
Yeah, the wool ones are 70% nylon and 30% wool. So, but yeah,
Found as I've gotten old,
make it colder or what?
I found as I get older, my hands don't get as cold. Actually, they get a lot more cold than they did before. I just can't feel it anymore. I use those sun protector, kind of like a nylon glove that are 3/4 fingers. And that seems to work for me in the wintertime, not too much trouble.
I have some neoprene gloves that work pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's a trial and error, and unfortunately it's exactly that. It's a trial and error as far as what you like and then what fits. And again, I thought the flip over mittens, and I have a fairly expensive pair of those, and the first 3 times when it catches on your fly line, I'm like, okay, well, not those. But I think it's trial and error, and it's also, it has to fit, no pun intended, but like a glove. It has to fit very tight. It can't be baggy on your hand. Otherwise you're just going to end up having it like in the wrong place at the wrong time. But great investment there, Roger. Was that from Santa, or was that just gotta have them?
They were gifts. Wife and I came up with a very good way. It's like, hey, we each take $100 and go buy what you want for yourself, wrap it up, put it under the tree, and we'll say it was from the other person. And it's amazing how well you get what you actually wanted for Christmas. You know?
Exactly.
But you do have to wrap it up and put it under the tree and wait for Christmas before you can go use it. So. Oh, another point on these things, size-wise, I normally don't wear an extra large, but they're both came the large / extra large size to fit my hand, which frequently will be either a medium or a large. So they're run just a smidge small, maybe compared to what other gloves may.
That's great. Well, thank you. Anybody else who's got some either Christmas or your favorite things, or you're saving from 2021, your day savers?
Well, I'll tell you, I did get something, but it has nothing to do with fishing. As I said last week, I'm kind of a Scotch aficionado, and I'm constantly testing new kinds. So my son this Christmas gave me this, and it's what they call Scotch Flight. And it's 5 bottles of Scotch. And here's the size of them. They're about 1 ounce each. But I found what was most interesting, and the reason I wanted to talk to you about it tonight is because number 5 there, if you look at it, it's a Kamagatake Chichikabu Malt Duo Scotch whiskey. It's Japanese. And I thought that was very appropriate, being a Tenkara fisherman, that I would get some Japanese Scotch. So I went out and I said, what if I really like this? Am I going to be able to buy it? Well, the answer to that is yes, if you're willing to pay $700 a bottle. Wow. So I think I'm going to enjoy this 1 ounce more than I probably should, but I don't think I'm going to be buying any more. So I thought that was really nice of my son. He's a good guy.
And all of those get the tasting better and better, but if you start with the first bottle and you keep drinking, that last bottle is just
phenomenal.
Well, now, you gotta be careful, because are you talking about drink all 5 of them at the same sitting, or are you talking about one a night? Because it does make a difference.
Anything I know about flights like that, you're supposed to drink one and then the next one all the way through, right? That's the point of
you
a
have a
flight.
good comparison. You don't have a good comparison if you wait too much.
Well, that's true. That's true. That's true.
But you do have to have a pen and paper there so you can take notes. And when you look
But I tell you,
back,
my wife, God bless her, I told her I was trying to figure out a way to store large quantities of epoxy for the rod building class I'm going to teach. And she had in the upstairs bathroom, she had a bottle with her hand lotion and stuff on it. And I asked her where she got it. She told me, and lo and behold, for Christmas, look at what she did. She got me 2 of these little bottles, and they're bulk canning jars, and they got little pushers on the top. And that's what I'm putting my epoxy in now. And the nice thing is they're different colors, so I know which one is the hardener and which one is the resin.
and if they pump out good, you can just
Yeah.
one pump of one, 2 pumps
One
of
pump.
the other, or whatever it is.
There you go. Yeah, it's almost as much fun as an ounce of Scotch and 2 ounces of bourbon.
Don't drink the
Don't
scotch
mix it
and
up
then
with your
use the
hand
resin, 'cause you might freeze it together.
Oh, man. Oh, okay. On that one, I don't even know. Who would like to go next?
Yeah, I see Terry waving his hand.
Terry
He's
waving.
Cleaning his screen off.
Oh, good. You'd being all like,
Well, I don't know if
formal
you
and-
can see the nomenclature on this whole hat and my flip focals. These things, I'm sure you've all seen these before, but these are some of my favorite things. This hat is probably 25, 30 years old, down from Arkansas. And I've had these flip focals in there and they work great today. My other favorite thing is this half knot tool, slip knot tool, some kind of knot tool. And this works great. It doesn't make the best knot in the whole world, but it makes a nice knot. And it's easy. I like that. What else? Oh, since I've got problems with my legs, I got this Sims walking stick, and it's carbon fiber, nice and lightweight, very strong. If it holds me, it holds you up. And I attach this to my vest. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but I have a little clip on the vest with a magnet. So I clip it into this, and then I bring the other magnet on. And so I walk around. You probably see me do this. And so if I need it, I've got it right there. And it's already out straight. So that, and I stole this from, let's see, Roger and Amy and a bunch of other people. I got a box and started filling it with goodies to give out. I never did that before, and it's a really sweet thing to do. So I don't know. That's kind of it. There's a
Very
million
cool.
other gadgets, but those will work.
Terry, I live by those the magnets. I have one for I love those things, and they are so strong. Can you show that again on your on how you keep your walking stick attached? The double-ended magnet. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
it's-
do that with mine.
And what
Yeah,
I found too
I had-
is
I had to make a little adjustment on your vest or on your strap if you, and I've been able to do that handsomely. The only thing is you got to be careful in the event that you hit the staff is out and you get your chin over your knock your jaw up real hard, but it's kind of worth it because once I start falling, I don't have time to unfold it and everything. It's out now.
Hey,
Terry, the only-
do you have
the
a
only pro-
recovery line on it?
I'm sorry.
Do you have a recovery line?
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Hey, Terry, do you have any problems with that when you're walking in the creek and you stick it in kind of hard and have the sections come apart when you try to pull it out?
No, that was one of the, I've had about 5 different sticks. That was one of my concerns. And it locks down with this little jewel here. I've never really had it come apart on me.
Yeah, that's the problem I've had with mine. Mine isn't a very expensive one. I got it from Cabela's, but when I stick it down in and I'll stick it on the ground just to hold it up for a minute. When I go back to get it, all the sections come undone. So I have to kind of wiggle it back and forth to get it out. That's,
Really?
yeah,
Well, look,
I've taken a
this
header
is
or two because of that.
Look at this is a Sims, and it's got really comfortable handle,
Yeah.
at least for my hand. Cork, it doesn't fatigue as long, especially when I'm walking on real slippery stuff. I've got my grip really tight on there. So
I have a
some
Sims walking
in the
stick
past,
too,
I used
Terry's
to
seen
have
it.
you have to use 2 sticks.
but the Sims does make one that you pull and it locks each section's connected, but you pull it and a little pin pops in and it locks it together. It can't come apart until
Right.
you push that pin in and release it.
Yeah, that's this one. Thank you, Roger.
Yeah, the other problem I have with these things, I can't find one short enough. Seriously, I'm only 5'7". My wife says I'm 5'6", and all the ones I've gotten so far are more like you know, I feel like I'm Moses with his staff, you know.
And I love, again, the magnet that Jerry was showing on there too. And anybody wears their net on the back of them.
Right.
So one of the things is if you actually if you get hung up, you're walking through brush or twigs or anything else, and all of a sudden you can turn around and your net's gone. I misplaced my net 2 times in one weekend, had it returned to me. But what I ended up doing is exactly that little bungee cord kind of thing. And it's like a keychain basically. And so I've hooked that also. And I come around and I just use a D loop and I hook it to my sling bag. And at least then I kind of get clotheslined if I lose my net, because I'm walking and I get hung up because it's stuck back somewhere else. But the other thing is if you catch, like you're down getting a fish or releasing it, you don't need your net, but then you stand up and it catches, it'll pull away from that magnet. So having that recovery line on there will save you quite a bit of money in the long run for not having to go. And then the other part is it's never fun to watch your stuff goes downstream. So yeah, hook it to you would be a good thing, but great tools on that, Terry. Appreciate it. All right. So
Yeah, what I do with mine, Amy, if you can take a look here, there's one of those magnets right there, and I'll hook it on this end. But
Right.
I also have another one down here on this end.
Yep.
So I can carry it. I bought these someplace, I forget. I bought 24 of them, and I've used them all up already. So and then I use this. This is just bungee cord, and this is what I tie everything together with. So yeah, I love those magnets. They are absolutely phenomenally great things to work with.
it
Those
is,
and carabiners.
yes. Oh, that's what I have, and I have it going around on my sling pack, and that's what I hook
Yeah.
to. And so I put the carabiner on my sling pack,
Yep.
and then everything's on my back.
Yep.
And it is, and the other thing is they're super strong magnets. So if you're ever walking away from your car, and I drive a Jeep, and all of a sudden you feel yourself go like this, it means one of your magnets is out of alignment, just by the way, because you will get like sucked back into your car. Just to let you know.
Another thing with the walking stick. So I just turn it upside down. I got the magnet near the grip. I turn it upside down, and those flies that fell out of my hand and are still in the water, I can see them, but I can't reach them. I just go on down there, and I have saved several dozen flies with that little magnet on the end of the walking stick.
Oh, that's awesome.
I
Especially if
did
you
it
don't
one
want
time. I had 3 flies in the water standing in the same place. I was tying them on and they all fell off. Oh God.
and I was gonna say, and that goes right back to Roger with the gloves is, sometimes you just don't want to get those gloves wet. So use the end of your walking stick with the magnet and you don't have to get your arms wet. All right. So I saw Chris, finally Chris joined us. So thanks for remembering it's Monday, by the way,
Sorry.
Chris.
My
Yeah,
days
Merry
are running together really bad.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.
But I did see you get up and get something. So I'm thinking you were like getting all prepped up here.
Yeah, my girlfriend actually made this for me. I tie flies and stuff all the time, but she made this really cool. I don't know if you can see it. It says crafty flies on it, and then did the little
Very cool.
Oh, yeah.
fish in there. Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
That's
Very
kind of cool.
nice.
And then I got a new reel. I don't know, Pacific Sun or something.
Pisky fun.
Sweet.
Those are
Yeah.
pretty good. I've got a couple.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's nice.
me
It's a
too.
nice one. And then I bought me a dubbing loop thing finally.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice. Oh, that's a
Right.
nice one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I found a really cool fly shop in Springfield. Plateau Fly Shop or something. Really,
Yeah.
really nice.
Outstanding. All right. Well, great. And great job on the artwork too. It gives you something to hang in your fly tying room.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Well, guys,
All right,
I'm gonna have to leave you all. dinner's ready and have everybody have a happy new year.
You too.
All right,
Have a
Dave,
good one.
good to see
See
you.
you, bud.
Bye
Good
now.
to see your,
Hey, save
your
us some of that
granddaughter and your
food,
daughter.
Dave.
Enjoy your family.
Take care.
Happy New Year, Dave.
Have a good one.
Happy New Year, Dave.
Jambalaya, man.
That sounds good.
Really does.
I know. All right, let's see. Carl, you're on tonight.
Yeah, how's it going? Merry New Year.
Good. Happy New Year.
Happy Christmas. Merry New Year.
What's up? Do you have anything to show or your favorite, or was Santa good to you, or
Oh no,
any of the above?
Santa was good. I got a 2-weight XI rod that I'm gonna start building. I actually got the handle glued on yesterday and started wrapping this afternoon, and then I realized that's the same pattern I got on every other rod I've made. So I'm going to try to venture out and do something a little different. I think I'm going to try to do some olive branch wraps.
Ooh.
So when you say two-way, you have a handle on both ends?
Yeah.
I want to see that. That'll put my Tenkara to shame.
Yeah.
That
So
will.
I got a reel for it already when we were back in New Mexico a couple weeks ago. Stopped at one of my favorite shops in Santa Fe, and I always like to do a little business every time we go there. So, but I'm just started building it, so we'll see how it turns out here. I'm supposed to make these projects last longer than a day or two. So,
Which shop in Santa Fe, Dave or Carl?
High Desert Angler.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've been there once myself.
It's a nice little
I have
shop.
I have a sticker from them. I actually have a couple stickers from them. So for the rest of us who don't, what is a two-way rod?
2-weight rod.
Wait,
Oh, two-way. So, okay. See, we all heard two-way. That's why, anyway,
We all.
we all did. We all me. We all me did. Okay. Yeah, I did. I had the same as John is going, what? How's that work? What? I thought it was like a convertible one that you can go from, different lengths or standard back to fly. I don't know. But okay, 2-weight. Got it.
Yeah, it's 6.5 foot. I don't know how many ounces it is. It's not, it can't be, it's not very heavy, but I got it spined today, and I've got all the guide spacing set up on it. So all I got to do is just wrap it. So see how it works out.
Well, don't go too fast through that project, but we'll all be ready. We'll be ready to see pictures of it next Monday.
Yeah, I got my future
No
daughter.
pressure or anything.
I got my future daughter-in-law's rod done, and I wrapped it, and I realized I forgot to take pictures of it before I gave it to her.
Well, now you get to get a picture of her catching a fish with it.
Yeah, that's my next project. We gotta teach her how to use it. So.
Well, I see Jim Stanley's on. Jim, what do you have? Did Christmas good to you? Or do you have anything favorite?
you're muted, Jim.
There you go.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, Christmas is always good, but we're gonna start this Healing Waters group here in the Springs. We're gonna start January 5th for our in-house fly tying, and one of our patterns, and I think Amy can relate to this one, is that complex twist bugger, and if you tie that, that's one where you hook a couple of hackles together with some polar chenille and spin them up. Chris could probably use this tool. So they Stonfo, I believe it is, sells and Loon does too, a dubbing twister tool. But what I started doing some years ago before they came out with that is I take an alligator clip and I solder a ring connector into the base of it, because you can fit the two together, and then you just clip that onto those hackles and the polar chenille, and then take that dubbing spinning tool, and it can go right, put the little hook right in the bottom and spin that up. So instead of spending $18, I spent, a little time and a little flux and solder and made my own dubbing twister tool. So anyway, that was
So
one thing. What
And
is
it
it?
probably doesn't come loose.
No, that one won't come apart. And the other thing, I thought it was real cute. In fact, Amy, if you recall, the one fellow that was on the other night with me was Matt Van Orman. And Matt's a dentist. And he came into, we were doing a Tuesday night tying just to fill our trip boxes for the group. And he came in and he threw this package on my desk. And I don't know if you've ever seen these. It's called gum. What is it? Easy Through is what it says on there. And it's to thread floss for people with different appliances. And what it is, and heck, I don't know if you can even see this thing. We put a piece of paper in front of it, but it's
So
it's a piece of
Yeah.
plastic in a loop. And if you take that, you can push that down the end of your bobbin and thread it. Use that as a threader instead of buying the wire ones. Plus the other end of it is a little bit larger, and you can clean hook eyes with that. So that's
Jim,
my
we-
2 cents worth.
Nice.
Jim, we use those. In fact, we need the hookup. We need the hookup with Matt to get those because they're kind of hard to find anymore. But those loops that you just showed, we use those in our rod building class. And so as you're wrapping and you want to do your last wrap over and tie in with your thread, you lay that on the spine section of it, and then you pull your tag end through and then cut
Sweet.
it. And it's so much more smooth and it's easier to work with than the thread.
Yep.
So as far as like doing a thread loop and we
Yes.
use those floss tools. So yeah, but they're not very easy to find as far as a thing, but they work really, really well. And I think I still over in my rod building, I think I have 2 left and that's it. I actually,
Amy,
when you held those up, I was going to hold up one of these like the dental floss things. They work great for dubbing brushes, by the way.
Yep.
So when you were on the dental part, I'm like, oh, I have, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's not the same thing.
Amy, that's a great idea for rod building. I had never thought of using, I've used them before for on my bobbins to thread them with, but I'd never thought about using them as instead of a
On
thread
your
loop.
last-
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
on
is
your
super
last-
idea.
They work great on
it
the,
is-
Smooth.
Yeah.
they work really good on like the A or B threads, but you get some like
Here's
you're
a-
trying to do silk or whatever, something thin,
Hey.
it'd be tough.
Yeah.
Amazon's got a pack of 12 for $30.87.
Oh,
Yeah, we
What?
use it.
Hope that's 12 bundles of it. And I will say that I did notice the other day when I was shopping out with my wife in a quilt shop that they are now carrying them there. They use them for threading the needles and
Threaders.
stuff, and the
Right.
sewing machines and the sort. So it's another place you can look if it's not in your Walgreens toothbrush section.
Here's
Yeah.
here's another vendor, and he's got 100 pack for $45.
Ooh, I'll have to figure out. Jim Saraceno is always the one who can find them for us. But if our source dries up, then we know we're gonna call Jim in Colorado Springs and
Yep.
have Matt hook us up.
I'll have to pick his brain. I'm gonna see him this week, I believe. So,
Yeah, it just pulls really smooth, I think, on the regular threads that we're using, like what Carl said too, on the silks and different things like that. It's a little bit tricky, but for pulling them across on the fiberglass, and it keeps them in nice and tight, and it's an area that you can work with and you can grab them. And that's the other thing too, is you're not losing it like 2 threads creating a loop. So it's something that it's easy because it's just one and you can pull that tag out, and it tucks your finished thread underneath on the thread wraps for a rod.
Nice.
But very
But
cool.
you'll usually
Bed
find
Bath and Beyond for $3.19 for 20 of them.
there you go.
You just
We're all
gotta
gonna be-
expand.
Hey,
Yeah, you gotta just expand your horizons, you know?
hey, Jim, what did you do for a living? What'd you do for a living that you have alligator clips and soldering equipment?
Oh, I was a corrosion technician. I worked on pipeline rectifiers for a gas company. And
Oh,
so we
okay.
had to put electrical components together and et cetera. So anyway, that was,
Always got to be aware of a man with a soldering iron.
yeah. Well, this really works good, and I make them every year for our students. So haven't gotten any complaints and haven't heard about any of them falling apart. So, but it's a good project, you know, for a guy to do.
Excellent.
Very good.
Excellent project. All right. Well, it looks like Walt, you're still on? Is
Yes,
he on?
you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
What's your Santa or your favorite? What do you got?
My daughter gave me the little red book for fly fishing.
Love that book.
That's a great book.
It really sits next to the toilet. It's good.
You didn't have to share all those details.
That's okay.
No.
Yeah, that's a lot more than I really wanted to know, Walt.
That's
No,
okay.
no, it's not okay. All right. So anyway.
so
on
is
to
this
the next one.
So it's just like the old Sears catalog that you
Yeah,
peel off
no,
a page
no,
or
no,
something?
no. Thanks.
All right. Next. That's what we're not going to call on you very often, Walt. Okay.
That's okay.
Mick, go ahead.
All right,
Mick,
I'm a cool little thing I got. I don't know if you guys could see that.
Oh,
Oh,
very
nice.
cool.
So neat little fly box. And so
Cool.
I'm not going to use it to hold, you know, where I go fishing, special flies in there.
Yeah.
So if someone's given any to me, you know, the top one, the first fly I ever tried, there's no way to use it because I crowded the head so much, or the eye, that I don't think I could find it. The next one down, oh, that's the one that Amy hooked my neck. I kept that one. The bigger white one, was the one I used. It was the first a fly I tied on the first rod I built that caught a trout. So I kept that fly. The next one is the one that Walt built for me when I visited his house. And the second to bottom was given to me by the Tom Colley at Bennett. So I kept that. And then the bottom one is the one that I tied for the competition. So
Nice.
little gift.
Way to go. That's a great box.
Yeah, it's a neat little
I
box.
cannot- I cannot believe that I even have a claim to fame in that, but wow,
Yeah.
thanks, Mick.
So I got more spots for others. So
Don't
next
stand
person
next to me.
helps me.
See if we can't do something about that next time I come down to Bennett.
Yeah.
No. I'm telling you, I've only done that 2 times, and yeah, well, not to Mick.
It was
Mick, I got him
both
once.
Mick.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if we can get your ear with a Tenkara rod and fly.
Exactly.
I don't don't know if you guys, most everybody who's on here knows me or has stood next to me. And so I'm kind of on the shorter side. And so, yeah, topping out 5'4", I think. And so Mick stands next to me and it's a wind and we're on a little peninsula area. And Mick, I don't know, what are you, 6'6"?
6'5". Yeah.
Okay, so you got a little bit of a difference in like where you're casting and everything. And right as I back cast up, I don't know where this wind came from. And I go forward on my cast too. And all of a sudden I'm like, and Mick's going, whoa! And it actually caught in his buff.
My gator.
But
Yeah.
I couldn't reach it to get it because, you know, I mean, it's up out of my range anyway, just even on his neck. And meanwhile, he lands a fish, which was even funnier because he's like, I have a fish on, just a minute. And he's trying to like bend down so I could, it was fairly comical. We were laughing pretty hard. I was so embarrassed though.
That was a good
'cause,
time.
Yeah,
That's why I kept it. It was a funny time.
because it's how do you go home and explain that? Well, Amy hooked me in the neck and then I caught a fish. And
Just
so,
didn't have to
yeah,
worry
anyway.
about falling in trying to retrieve your fish because Amy had you.
Yeah.
I know.
Line, right?
I mean, and finally, because I couldn't do anything else, so I just snipped off my line. So yeah, he went home with the hook in his buff.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get it out of there. But yeah, I've only one other time to do that. But anyway, so everybody else, did we cover everybody on their favorites or anything? Everybody? So Santa brought me, I have a new tying stool. I'm trying to get used to it. I didn't fall off, which is good. But I have the hydraulic, in case you guys didn't know, there were a couple of times when I was tying and my hydraulics went out on my other one. So it's like a bar stool or a shop stool, right? And it has hydraulics on it. Well, my other one gave out. So by the way, Gorilla Glue and duct tape really work. It was holding, but Santa brought me, but this thing now, I can be like all the way up here. Anyway, it's kind of cool on that. So just put it together yesterday. See, I could fall off, but there, I can lower back down. But I've spent several days fishing and so we talked about gloves, we talked about winter weather and everything. And I am so glad we were not tying tonight because my hands are ripped up. So I'm going to show my favorite thing right now because it's about the only thing that can get me through the winter. So if you guys don't have some of this, I highly suggest you get this. It helps as far as just, again, the rough just around your fingernails, other things too. And the other thing is, because I get really bad, you can see even today I was out when I come back up, just windburn. Yeah, loving this stuff.
Nice.
And it goes on almost like a Vaseline, but it saved me the last couple of days just on windburn alone. So anyway, those are my two favorite things as far as my go-to, because otherwise my skin just gives up on me with that. So yeah, I Aqua 4, I guess, and the
Amy,
other
would
one's
you-
working hands.
Amy, would you?
And if you
hold
don't
that
think
o- Would you hold that O'Keefe's up again? I want to get a picture of that so I won't forget when I go to order the thing what it is.
Oh, yeah, hang on. Let me switch it. I didn't realize you were on here, Al. Good to see you.
I'm just quietly, but I saw something because I always have trouble with my hands. That sounds
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Well, the
I
working hands-
love it. I can second Amy on it. That stuff is great.
Thanks, Amy. I got a picture.
Okay, and then this is the other one, this Aqua 4, and it's a lot like kind of an A&D ointment, Vaseline. What I really found with this is it actually, it's more water soluble. Instead of like Vaseline on your face, because I get really bad windburn. And so that was one of the things too, is this isn't, it's just not, it's not as heavy. It helps, but actually, I mean, other than I got nailed like 3 times with hooks this week. And wow. Anyway, it works great. You just put that working hands on and you don't have to do anything. It has a little bit of a glycerin feel if you don't like that. Just add a little bit of water to your hands as you rub it in, and it seems to heal stuff really, really quickly. So that and you guys know I live by Static Guard in my fly tying room, but yeah, the working hands, and there's another one, working feet, but I don't use that one. The working hands, and if you guys weren't thinking I was serious, here's the jar of it. You can see how much is gone, and it takes you forever to go through this. It's like a little puck. It takes you forever to go through it, and this time of year I go through it.
You
So,
see,
well-
tag bomb.
Yep.
I'll give a
Anything.
second
I
on
mean,
Gold Bomb.
it is, and for some reason, and I guess it's just a different texture of some of them have a little bit, I don't know, you put them on, you're like, oh, I don't like that on my skin. But this one, yeah, I've figured out O'Keefe's is the way I'm going, and it definitely, it helps on that part of it too. Chapstick this time of year, I mean, it's just, it is like layered. But Al, since we have you and you're on camera, was Santa good to you, or do you have any favorite things that you can share with us?
You won't be able to see it. You'll just be able to see the results, but I have some different camera equipment for the Zoom studio.
Outstanding.
I'm gonna.
And I'll offer you one tip too. You were talking about using the dental floss threader. Well, I use one a lot, and we always slide the butt in from the bottom or up, and it'll hang up on the ceramic tips quite a bit. And what you do is you take a cigarette lighter and just barely touch it to the end of that, so it'll round it out, and then it'll slide right on through the tube.
Ah,
Nice,
Ooh,
cool.
very nice.
good idea.
Very, very, very good. All right, all. Well, I don't have anything else. I am out next Monday night, so you guys will all have to entertain yourselves. Taking the youngest back to boot camp. So she's been home this past week, but she goes back next Monday night. So I will be out for that one.
And how's the
And,
Air Force treating her, Amy?
She's not in the Air Force, John. She's in the Army.
Oh, well, how's the Army treating her?
Army is treating her well. She's
Good.
loving it. Yeah, she's loving it. And yeah, she just it's been a treat. It's been a whirlwind of visit, just very quick. But it's just where she's supposed to be. So
Good.
she had some funny stories. You know, they don't have to go back. They do that whole holiday break, so they clear everyone out from Fort Leonard Wood. But anyway, it's so different to see her, I guess. You know, everybody
Yeah.
can tell you that they will be different. They are different.
Yeah.
It is just, and
Yep.
then on top of it, so she's put on 30 pounds.
No,
Not kidding. 30
no.
pounds. 30 pounds pure muscle.
Yeah.
This kid has like shoulders that you would not, I mean, she is, I'm looking at her and I go, okay, finally. And she had a t-shirt on. And so she showed me, oh my gosh. And I'm like, she's rock hard. I mean, anyway, she's loving it. She eats like crazy, but she actually likes the Army food. So I don't really know what's wrong with that child. Let's just put it that way.
Nothing wrong. I left it too.
So your household budget will be glad to see the Army go back to feeding her.
You know what's funny is I made a cake. I was told that, you know, to be a good mom and I should make a cake that she would want. So I made the cake and everything. She doesn't even touch it. She doesn't eat sweets anymore. No soda. You know, she wanted coffee because they haven't had coffee for 4 months. But other than that, she's doing really healthy. We've hiked a couple times and she got the maps. Roger, by the way, she got that part figured out. We spent some time on the maps and I think we're good on land navigation now. Yeah, that was kind of overwhelming her. She's like, they don't teach it like this. It's like coordinates anyway. But I will be out next Monday doing that drive back. But why don't you guys come up with a topic and then I'll send out the email as far as a reminder. But who wants to tie and what do you guys want to see?
I have another Zoom meeting Monday night too, Amy, so I'll not be here either.
Okay. So looks like Mick, Roger, Jim, Carl, anybody want to tie next week or?
Take a couple turns and maybe doing some nymphs.
Sure.
All right.
It's a good time for it.
Yeah.
It's been pretty productive around here this time of year with the nymphs. So yeah, why don't we nymphs and midges or something? And
Sure.
then and we'll just go with that. I'll pick up the recording. I don't think I'll be back in time, but if I am, then I am.
Okay.
That would be great. But yeah, that would be awesome. And I'll send out the reminder as well.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Have a
All right,
happy
all.
New
Well,
Year.
thank you, everybody. Happy New Year. I will be at Bennett on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So traditionally, I fish out the year and fish in the year. And so I'm one of those who says, you know, I got to fish all year and it's the first day of the year. So this year, because our state parks are only open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and the holiday falls on that. So I'll be down at Bennett. Normally I just always hit Merrimack because it's open every day. But if anybody up for a road trip, come on down to Bennett. I'll be over at Sand Springs. So
God, I'd love to join you, Amy. I just can't make it that weekend.
I
I know.
might be there. I'm gonna try to make it because I've been remodeling and I need to reward myself for doing a lot of work. So that might be it.
I may go to the Verdigris and spend the new year at the Verdigris, so.
I highly recommend it. If anybody doesn't have that tradition, I highly recommend it because it is just, it's fun. You know, just that last one and you go, okay. I mean, 2020 was a challenge or 2021 was a challenge. So it's a great way to kick out that year and start a whole nother year the next morning. So, but anybody else, if they're up for it, and if not, then take your pictures and we'll all see each other on the other side in a new year.
Sounds
All
good.
right. See you guys.
Be careful all. Thank
Take
you,
care.
everybody.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Everybody.